right, so we're here with Steve today. Steve from Orlando City Soccer Foundation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Can you talk to us a little bit about what your organization is doing in the community of Orlando to help influence youth soccer?
Sure. So we, use soccer as a tool to help impact families and children. And one of the ways that we do that is through free community programs. So in America, we have what's known as the pay-to-play gap, where if you want to exceed and move on to the next level, you have to be able to have the resources to make that jump, right? Transportation, playing fees, things like that. So our foundation is committed to providing soccer experiences and opportunities for kids in underserved areas. And so what we notice in a lot of the downtown area, especially here in Orlando, is that field space is such a premium, right? It's hard to find a grass area to play.
Right.
So we have worked with U.S. Soccer Foundation on a project called the Mini Pitch Initiative, where we essentially go into an underserved area and find a underutilized, it might be a cracked or broken basketball court, for example, or tennis court, and we repurpose that and create a safe place to play. So the perfect model, really, what we've tested some other turf options, but the best model that we found is the mini pitch, which is a futsal court.
Right.
So it's a street soccer area where the finish on the top coat is a little bit slicker than a traditional asphalt basketball court, for example, where you're going to fall and get skinned up.
Yeah.
But it forces our kids to really stop and play, right? So we found that on average, players touching the ball eight times more on a mini pitch than on a grass field. It forces you to work on technique. You can't just kick and run.
Right. So how many of those pitches have you built around Orlando now?
So in our 2-year history of doing them, we've done 6 now.
Okay.
4 of them are actually at City of Orlando Parks and Rec locations,
Okay.
where you're getting anywhere from 150 to 350 kids after school. So it's a massive challenge, right? It's how you impact that many kids at one time. Other locations that we look at are come down to the partners, right? So Boys and Girls Club is the site of our 5th mini pitch, and we really look at them as a great partner from a mentor standpoint. Their staff know exactly, have the right mindset as our coach mentors, right, going into it. And the last site is a private school called Frontline Outreach. So another interesting opportunity to work in a closed setting where the staff and children are all kind of committed behind this one mission, right, one goal.
Do you have plans to continue growing? Like, do you have a target to reach, like a court every year? Like, is there a limit that you're trying to reach, or?
So our focus right now, we are so young. So
Right.
we've really been looking at the immediate Orlando downtown area as an area of need. But the goal really for the next 3 to 5 years, is not only Orange County, which is one of the largest counties in the nation,
Okay.
but Seminole, Osceola. We really want to kind of paint that border between us and our nearest rivals, right, which would be Tampa,
Right.
and then Miami down south. So.
Right. Have you seen the chance to replicate this with other clubs? Have other clubs reached out to you yet about this?
So we've seen a little bit of what other clubs have done with the opportunity that U.S. Soccer presented and what MLS presented when we joined the league. They had this initiative called the 20 for 20, where they provided a mini pitch for each of their 20 markets, MLS markets. But we, of course, in Orlando want to take that a step further, right? So going back to our foundation's mission, we're all about health and wellness and this kind of holistic approach. So it's not just soccer. For example, 3 of our 6 mini pitches right now have a community garden alongside them. So what a great tangible tool, right? Our curriculum that we run is not only physical activity, soccer centered, but nutrition, mentorship, and then family and community engagement as well. So if you've got a tangible garden where you're growing tomatoes, that child is going to be so much more invested in their nutrition and taking care of that tomato because it's theirs, right?
Right.
So it's a great thing for us to have alongside where we're doing our activities.
Awesome. So in other clubs that I visited and interviewed, they've stated that the fact, for instance, crowd attendance, you guys I heard you're selling out every game. They've said that their involvement in their community has a direct correlation with how the community comes out and supports them. Do you see that as something that's happened in Orlando too?
I think that's 100% true. And in fact, when this club was founded, we made sure that community was one of the pillars of this club, right? So every player that comes in, I don't know the exact terms per se, but I know they sign a clause in their contract that they have an obligation to commit and reinvest in our community. So it's been a great resource for us to have not only the Orlando City players, but Orlando City B and Orlando Pride, our women's team, come out to our programs and do player appearances, sign autographs, but also just mentor and mingle with the community.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so important. Going back to, you mentioned just at the beginning when we were talking about how you've noticed that the best way for soccer to be involved in the community is the small-sided pitches, otherwise known as futsal, like a hard court. Do you have any more facts or just science behind how you guys have noticed that going that route can help develop a player or a child quicker, whether that be beginner, intermediate, or advanced, whoever you work with?
I think our mindset really with that is twofold. So we look at sustainability, things like upkeep. We've explored turf costs and even doing a full grass field, but there's so much maintenance, and at the end of the day, who does that fall on, right? Is it going to be us? Am I going to have to go out and repair some divots at the end of the day? Am I going to have to go fix lights? No, we want to make this as easy, almost like a lowest hanging fruit type of example,
Right.
something that we can easily latch onto,
Right.
but then bless and release, right? I don't want to go around and see 6 perfectly pristine mini pitches. And that's something that's been a little bit challenging for me because I get emotionally invested in each of these sites and where we go.
Yeah.
So it brings me joy, you know, not only now to see kids playing, but to see them drawing hopscotch, you know, lines on the court. If they're bouncing basketballs out there, playing kickball, as long as they're being physically active and utilizing a safe place to play, I'm all about it.
Do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Oh man, the future is purple. That's all I have to say. You know, we want to again just kind of grow this brand, and I think in our short history, we've done a pretty good job of being accountable for what we say we're going to do. And like you mentioned, the league is on notice, right? They see what we're doing here and that it's unique and really has an authentic kind of feel to it, right? We're not built, not bought, is what we've kind of grown up with as well. So
I mean, I just love sitting down here. It's a gorgeous stadium. I just got done saying
yeah.
this rivals, I mean, maybe not in terms of seats, but it rivals in terms of how it's built, construction, the wall over there.
Yeah.
It rivals any stadium I've been in Europe.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so they're cleaning the seats right now. You said like a week before match day.
Yep.
So everything you guys are doing is super professional.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the fact that you're also so invested in your community. So it's awesome to see.
We've got this beautiful melting pot here in Orlando as well. There's the kind of British contingent, right? The snowbirds, as they say, who come over for the winter. Massive Latino population as well. Kissimmee, a big market for soccer, just 30 minutes from here. Those kids grow up with a soccer ball at their feet. But then also this kind of Brazilian resurgence. There's the tourist market, which is big, but to see the Brazilians kind of focus that effort towards this team, and they've really adapted. In fact, I believe the number was around 700,000 followers on Facebook in the Orlando City Brazil page
No way.
before we had even kicked the ball. Right?
Wow.
So our own page was at about 100K. In Brazil, they loved us from the start.
Really?
I think Kaká obviously helps,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, but it's been a platform really, you know, for the city. So
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal thing.
Do you have anything to add about, obviously Brazil is they've been number one in the game they have 5 world championships,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people attribute that to futsal.
Oh yeah.
With the direction of Brazilian ownership and such Brazilian involvement, do you find that they help push that agenda a bit more with futsal, small-sided pitch?
You know, I don't think it's something it's almost an unwritten thing, right? When I'm out in the community, I like to just use the Brazilian analogy that they play happy, right? They're dancing with the ball. And I think futsal gives you that opportunity because it's a dead weight ball where you really are focusing more on technique and ball control and using every part of your foot. If you can put kind of a happy, fun spin on it, then these kids are going to be way more receptive to it.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Steve, thank you for your time.
Sweet, thank you, man. Yeah, good stuff. That was fun.
Awesome.